In that atmosphere, I'd like to welcome a highly motivated HR professional with over 15 years of experience spanning talent acquisition, talent management, end-to-end recruitment management, performance management, learning and development, human resource consulting, business development, market development, and digital financial adoption. Over the years, he has worked at management capacity in the multinational organization such as United Bank for Africa, Nigeria Interbank Settlement Systems, FMDQ Security Exchange, F1 Interactive Solutions Limited, and is currently the head of talent resourcing at the First Bank of Nigeria Limited. He holds a master's degree in human resource management, a professional diploma in human resource management, a member of the Senior Professional in Human Resources International, is a member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, and is certified data analyst. With a master's, a round of applause, a Master's of Business Administration program from the University of Suffolk, United Kingdom in view. Please make welcome Mr. Pius Osasuyi. You're welcome, sir. Yes, you can sit here. Also on this panel is a media force, a legend and a mover in the media and communication space, the very Honorable Ayodeji Razaq, who is a marketing communication specialist with over 15 years of experience in creating customized experiential solutions for brands across the FMCGs, technology, manufacturing, and financial service industries. Is the CEO of Red Media Africa Group, a communication firm that uses storytelling to solve problems, change narrative, and build movement for companies, investors, change maker, and government bodies. Is the co-founder of X Holding Group, a group of companies that include a leading experiential and activation company with operations in Nigeria, Ghana, and in the UK, Duo Agency, a digital solution outfit, and SBX Media, a content production unit. He worked at BlackBerry Nigeria as the youth marketing executive and was part of the core team that oversaw the massive adoption of the brand across Nigeria and other key markets in West Africa. His team was awarded the most innovative team for most outrageously awesome ideas that keeps the brand activations on people's lips. His team also won the Team of the Year for the all-round best activation from concept to execution. He's an alumnus of the University of Lagos and a member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing UK, the National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, and in recognition of his outstanding academic and professional standing, he has demonstrated his commitment to creating and promoting high-standard management consulting practices, ethic competence, and client service. He was awarded fellow by the Board of Trustees and the Managing Council of Institute of Management Consultants. He's also recognized by Brandcom Awards as one of the 35 under 35 marketing professionals in Nigeria, and also a winner of the, thank you very much, and also a winner of the Entrepreneur Africa for Professional Service and Excellence. His speech was chosen as one of the 5 pitches that competed in the first annual Quantic Moonshot Finals held in New York City in 2023. He's passionate about national development and youth empowerment. He currently sits on board of NG Youth SDG. That's a United Nations-driven NGO that is at the forefront of youth participation in meeting global SDG goals. He sits on the board of All Life Matters Initiative, a non-profit organization that seeks to provide support for persons with disabilities in order to enable them live a better life. He was awarded Golden Role Model, National Coordinator of Nigeria Youth Advocacy for Good Governance Initiative. Ayodeji is extremely passionate about marketing, national development, and how communication can be used as a tool to shape the society. Giving honor to whom honor is due. With a loud and standing ovation, please make welcome Mr. Ayodeji Razaq. A round of applause for him, please. Yes. All right, please give me a minute. Next is a is the founder and CEO of Bchain Academy, one of the leading Web3 edu companies in Africa. Is a professional business development executive and a Web3 growth consultant with years of experience in fintech and blockchain space. He sits on the advisory board of Third Academy, a Web3 metaverse company based in Germany. He consults for Astro Armadillo, a Web3 gaming platform in the United Arab Emirates, and has also successfully closed several major deals and partnerships as a business development executive for Liminal Custody Solutions based in Singapore, one of the world's largest wallet infrastructure companies for crypto exchange worldwide. He recently graduated with an MBA from Lagos Business School and has played a significant role in Nigeria blockchain industry as a member of the stakeholders in Blockchain Association of Nigeria. Please warmly and excitedly make welcome Mr. Femi Adegolu. A warm welcome, please. All right, and to moderate this session is your amiable host for today, who is a corporate communications enthusiast and a professional events host. Please make welcome me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sirs, for being on this panel session. I feel like I'm the one on the hot seat, whereas I'm supposed to be the one answering the questions. But when you're with industry experts, you know. But let's start with, I think I'm going to start with Mr. Ayodeji. And let me start, as somebody with corporate communication experience, and one of the constant things is handling multiple projects. You're handling different accounts from maybe project launch, you're handling like events management and all of that. What would you say is very important for project managers in corporate communication space? Much. What would you say is the constant skill or constant experience you're supposed to have to be able to consistently have productivity, be productive as a project manager who's handling a lot of projects, especially in the corporate communication space or in the media and entertainment space?
Thank you so much.
Temitayo.
Thank you so much, Temitayo. So first and foremost, before I answer the question, I'm quite excited to be here. Like everyone that has come on before me has said, there was a time in my life I used to be right somewhere in that room, and I'll look at this place and be like, one day they're going to call me off stage. So it's quite an honor. So there are three types of skills you would typically need if you're managing multiple events, but I will speak to the one that I think is most critical as a project manager. It's a soft skill. It's a lot of patience. You must have an ability to step back in the middle of the madness. Marketing for us and for everybody that works in marketing and comms, it's a madhouse. If you've seen, there's a movie I always recommend to people who are just joining our industry, and not just project managers, just anybody. You can just watch the movie if you want to understand how to work in a fast-paced environment. It's called Mad Men. It's a whole series. It's called Mad Men. It's a lot of craziness happening all at once, and once you're in a place where you're doing projects and you're doing a lot of things at the same time, the one skill you must have is an ability to separate yourself from the madness and just breathe. Because whether or not you like it, I don't want to swear on stage, but shit will always go wrong. It's the nature of the job. Something always goes wrong. Your skill as a project manager, the one skill you must have is the ability to see it early. Sometimes see it even before it happens, but more importantly, see it early. And that cannot happen if you are in the middle of it. So you must have the ability to stay back and watch. That's why project management, again, like they always say, with all the sprint and everything, it's about putting processes in place. So when you start to see something that's looking like it's not going to work, the only way you can see that is you are looking at the big picture and not buried in the middle of the work, which is a mistake a lot of people make at the very beginning of projects.
All right, thank you so much. I'm coming to you, Mr. Femi, so you can as well just keep the mic. I'm sorry, I said Mr. Pius, please. Sorry. So he has spoken from like the active part of it. I want you to speak, when you're recruiting project managers, what are those top skills you're looking out for? And this person is going to make an excellent project manager, and we're going to be happy to have him or her on the team.
Okay, thank you, Temitayo. Coincidentally, I have a colleague, a very special colleague of mine. Her name is Temitayo, and I call her Temiti. Right, so you might consider that as your next nickname. I hope you can see my voice, because this is not my real voice, right? But first off, I remember your question. Just allow me appreciate the conveners of these events. Honestly, what I'm seeing is actually bigger than what I was expecting, right? I'm not saying I was expecting a mushroom event, but it's we don't have a 1,000 man hall, but there has been a whole lot of impact. I'm up here sitting down, but trust me, I've been taking a whole lot of mental notes as well. So I'm also a participant, right? So back to HRO in the building, like we like saying. So she asked the question, what do we look out for when it comes to interviewing a project manager? So I don't want to bore us with the various skills an ideal project manager should have. I'll just mention a few, right? Of course, we all know a project manager should have that leadership and communication skills, right? We've mentioned it here. We've mentioned time management skills. We've mentioned understanding of at least a little bit of financial acumen, understand how to interpret budget, how to make your budget, resource allocation, right? And the number is endless. But there is one particular skill that I look out for. And all those that have spoken before me, they've said it in one way or the other. Stakeholder management. It is super key, because I'm not a project manager, but I'm not a project manager by profession, but everybody by default, we are all project managers, agreed? Life itself is a project. There's a start date, there's an end date, except rapture. Let the pastor and me not come out, right? So stakeholder management, because you are not God, there is that tendency, no matter how your risk management is so apt, right? No matter how you do all your scenario basis and scenario analysis, you put mitigants in place, because people will, don't forget our keynote speaker, he made it, the three things that comes to place. I hope they've not updated that research. If my project management skill still serves me right. I don't know if I think you mentioned it. Time, scope, and cost, right? But all those things, they're still driven by people, right? Most of all is stakeholder management. Sometimes we're looking at people up there. Trust me, the person holding the key to your success might just be one small corfu, permit me to say, right? Especially when it comes to developers. I worked in Leaps. When he was talking, I was just smiling, right? We understand how these things can be. So I look at that stakeholder management. When things go wrong, when people are bringing things out of your project scope. In fact, as a HR person, I will not ask you what is your stakeholder management like. I'll look at the industry and interview you to come and be a project manager, and I train you a real life scenario. Recently, I was interviewing, I don't promote any brand, someone from your space. I was going to bring in a COO, right? One of these big guys in your space. They wanted to become a holding company, so they wanted to have one focus on BT, all those your many jargons, right? And they needed a CEO that would understand everything. But this CEO, guess what? A project manager that's very vital was going to be reporting to the CEO. I had to ask the CEO a question that I would ask the project manager, and the question was around a real life scenario that had to do with stakeholder management. So I would say at this little stage, we need to start harnessing that skill, so that when you are asked, even if you're asked a verbatim question, how do you go about stakeholder management? You can answer with real life experience of the pet projects you've done, how things went haywire, and you were able to manage people and you still achieved your results. Even if you failed, find a way to still explain that you know how to manage stakeholders. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Pius. Before I come to you, Mr. Femi, it's really interesting that you said. I remember when I was client executive for a leading PR firm, and we had given the person the budget for. She was launching a project. And okay, you know how media rates are. They are standard. Like, of course, being an agency, you probably add your own and all of that. I'd spoken to him. I said a lot of things. No. I don't want that. If I talk to Arise TV, if I I said, okay, what am I going to do? And I'm the account executive. I have a boss, but I'm talking to the boss of the company. So, like, I think there was just this way that maybe the person was just seeing that you're just a small girl. And so I went to meet my boss. My boss said, see, he's seeing you as a small person. You have to be able to have a conversation like you are me and still not disrespect him. And, okay, one of the things I just did was, first of all, I would say, yes, sir. First, I changed it. I said, doctor, and then I said, I went first to his wife. I had a conversation. They both run the business. And, she just told me, first of all, don't come and be giving him numbers. Tell him what he's going to get, why he should spend that amount of money, and then start from there. And that's what I did. And really, it's really about stake, because apart from, I wasn't even going to deal with the media myself, right? But it was really much about helping him to see what he was going to get. And so I really do relate to stakeholder management that you mentioned. Thank you so much, Mr. Pius. So, Mr. Femi, I know we're all talking about skills. We're still on this skill matter, but you are coming from a different angle. You are in like the field of tech, right? So what would you say, what skills should they start with? Those who are interested in Web 3 development, developers who are, they're interested in your field, in blockchain, in Web3 gaming and all of that. Yes, there is like the technical skills, right? But I mean, let's say they've already gotten those technical skills. How do they start getting gigs? How do they start working with companies? Do you understand? So from your own end, what would you advise a newbie in the sector?
Okay, thank you very much. Hi everyone. Thank you, Dr. Nira, for having me. So I'm going to go straight to the point. There are 5 key steps. I was speaking at a webinar yesterday organized by Astro and Adegolu, which are my partners, and they're just 5 key steps. Number 1, learn about blockchain tech. If you want to be a doctor, you don't just take knife and needle and go and do a surgery. Am I correct?
Correct.
You have to go to medical school, innit? Yeah. So you have to, first of all, learn about blockchain tech, understand the use cases of it, and understand why you want to be in that space. Because your why is more stronger than your how. When you get your how, then you now know what to do, right? So when you learn first why you want to be there, what value addition are you bringing to the blockchain space? Right now I'm a developer, but I don't write codes. I only develop businesses in the Web3 space. So let's say, for example, a company wants to come into Africa and they want to have some traction in the African markets. They reach out to people like me for me to help them gain that traction, get users, and also get some customer retention, right? That is me developing the business. So number 1, learn. Number 2, you have to have a niche, right? Like me, I'm a business development executive. That's what I do. And on my bio, I intentionally did not write about schools that I want to go. I don't want to be about where I studied. I want to be more about what I have done. Because that makes more sense and more meaning to me when people introduce me and say, I've done this and I've done that. So your niche is very important, because when you have your niche, then the next thing is to find a mentor, because now you are guided. You know what you're doing. So now you have to now follow who know road. Am I making sense, guys?
Absolutely. When
you now follow who know road, then the next thing to do is to now network. Go to events, right? Meet people, because you are new in the space, right? You can meet the next CEO of a company you want to work with as a project manager. You can meet the founder of a company. You might meet someone who wants to build a Web3 solution and is about to raise funds. I know a couple of my friends in C-Band who have raised funds, like somebody who just acquired Payday, raised $200 million. Her name is Ruth. Most of you might know Bit Mama. She's one of the biggest females in the Web3 space, and I maybe introduce her to Ayo for her to come next year. You know, she raised $3 million. She has acquired a company, has raised millions of dollars. She's a woman. So, for real, if you go to an event like that and you meet someone like that who needs, maybe she wants to launch a particular new product, you know, in a company, you might be talking to her and she will give you a job right there when you just make an introduction. So networking is very key. The final one is volunteering, because when you come to a new industry, you know, you have to, you know, go through the process. Very importantly, go through the process. Wizkid, Davido, everybody, no matter how big they are today, they have somebody that they all went through, right? So no matter what you're doing in life, I feel like you have to learn from somebody that has already been there before. That makes it more easier for you to get entrance into the space. Thank you.
Amazing. A round of applause for him, please. I feel like that's like a whole course that you could have signed up for, maybe on Udemy or anything. Very precise, very concise, very straightforward, very relatable. You can, like, I feel like maybe me, I can enter the industry right away, you know, with everything you have said. Thank you so much. Is anybody here interested in blockchain industry? Okay, so you got your idea right. Now, one thing I want everyone to do is, all the questions we're asking, I'm going to ask just a few questions. I want to take more questions from the audience. So please, if you have questions for them, please start taking notes, especially if you're interested. You know, there's HR here. We have the corporate, I wanted to say corporate body. Sorry, the media and entertainment in the corporate world, you know, the CEO of Red Media. And then we have the tech space as well. So if you have your questions, I know we didn't get a chance to ask questions in the first fireside chat. So please write your questions down. Ushers, please go around and help me take questions. I don't want to take questions, you know, after some people have asked questions, so that we're able to manage time. All right, so Mr. Ayodeji, you know, last thing that Mr. Femi said was networking. So coming from the corporate world, how do you approach networking? You know, maybe as a project manager, even if you're not a project manager, but you're going into that corporate space, you want to help people like manage. So for you who you're in marketing, you want to help people manage their marketing strategies, how to execute their plans and all of that. You know, how do you approach networking? What mindset? What skills? Yeah.
All right. So I have a theory that I typically always recommend to people when they ask me about networking. And it's really simple. Everybody networks 100%, right? So if you network 100%, there's a breakdown that I use, and I think it works like magic. You must always network only 20% upward. So half the time, I go to a room. I'm not trying to meet up with Dangote. I've sat in rooms with Dangote multiple times. I've never, ever actually walked up to him to go and network with him. Because here's the problem. When you see people like Dangote, you must ask yourself, you are not the first person who knows, or the only person that knows that is a millionaire or a billionaire. Yeah. So at least 50% of people around him want something from him. So unless I absolutely have value to offer him, going to him is a waste of his time and waste of my time. There's a high chance that there's someone else beside him who is doing what you want him to do. Instead, what I do is I only network upwards once I genuinely have value to provide to them. And I'll give you a live example. On my way here, I was on my LinkedIn. So I subscribe to LinkedIn Premium. And sometimes I just look up businesses and say, what are these guys doing? Why are they not in Nigeria? I looked up a particular company. I saw they are set up in Dubai. And we have office in Dubai. So I'd reached out to someone there, and in chasing a lead, because that's what we do, I look for leads and businesses. Chasing a lead, I found someone, and I sent him a LinkedIn message and said, I noticed that you have this, you run this, regional director and all of that. We can help you set up your business in Dubai. But as a matter of fact, I noticed you are opening an office in Nigeria. We can help you. And we did that. And instantly, he responded to me. And I said, oh, let's set up a meeting. Where am I going with that? Typically, someone like that will not respond unless I was not providing him actual value. He's regional director for this business. I've looked his profile. Obviously, he has almost 60 people reporting to him. In fact, he's not going to deal with me in Nigeria or in Africa, because I could already see in his LinkedIn circle, you can see the people that report to him, and one of them is the marketing director for Africa. So that would typically be the person I should reach out to. But I went to him because I was looking for his Dubai business. But he gave me attention because he saw that I came straight with a solution to existing problem that are seen on their business. Now, that's a 30% upward conversation. The next number is people around you. That's where I spend all my time. 50% of my networking time. I spend it with people in my circle. And here's why. A lot of what I've become today and a lot of businesses I have today are from my friends. People that are my friends are more likely to give me business. Why? Because it's very easy to say to him, I know what your problem is. You know what my problem is. Let's do a mutual exchange. I know what your touch point is. I know what your pain point is. I know that you need to grow this market because I see it every day. We exist in the same space. So in fact, I go into a room and I'm looking for people that were in the same space and I'm like, oh, so I saw you at this event. And I get a lot of business that way. Then the last 30% is downwards. I was telling the keynote speaker, Sinmi and Pius just today, I said, I get a lot of business from my ex-staff. Why? Because half the time, people underestimate the value of those who have worked with them or those who you consider beneath you. And I use that word very loosely. I pay a lot of attention to people that are coming behind me because whether or not you like it, they are also looking for people to network with above. So I give them more attention than I will give people of above. Because here's why. They would come with an opportunity for me. The same way I'll be looking for an opportunity for Dangote. They would always come to me with an opportunity for me. So when they come to me, when people walk up to me and say, oh, we're thinking of this. For example, I got on this platform because someone here volunteered at the Future Awards. The Future Awards is an event that we do every year. And for those who know about Red, Future was such a big platform. But the person that invited me here was a volunteer, an unpaid volunteer. But imagine all throughout that process, I had looked down on our engagement. She would not have seen this platform and said, oh, I need this guy on this platform. And this platform, yes, it may not be where I was last week or the other big platform or third. But the difference is I'm excited because I'm able to speak to people that I feel like tomorrow we become project managers in other organizations and we tell people that I know this guy. They are good. That is how I network. And I think that's something that you should always take away when you do networking. Stop wasting a lot of energy going up. Stay in your level and below. I can tell you for a fact, you get more opportunities that way. And that's the first way to rise.
Amazing. A round of applause for that. That was really profound. I think I'm really enjoying this panel session. I mean, that's so new. Has anybody heard that before? I don't think I've ever heard, networking that way before. I know people will say, oh, your circle is your first point of contact, but that percentage gives a lot of direction to it. It gives a lot of, you can see the reason why you are doing it that way. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayodeji. So, Mr. Pius, still, talking about networking, but this time I'm going to say upward mentorship. A lot of people thankfully, Mr. Femi had mentioned something like that, you need to work with people who have already done this, right? Yeah, follow no road, really. And he mentioned that you have to have value. But how do you approach mentorship? Because a lot of people just, I want you to mentor me. I want you to mentor me. How do you approach mentorship, at least from HR perspective, but particularly value-driven relationship, and not just some sort of one person giving to the other, and then the other person has nothing to offer. Yes.
Thank you, Temitayo. And thank you so much, Ayodeji, because I didn't know the questions that will be asked to the other panelists. When I saw this question, right, I had also planned to speak a little bit about networking. Her question was on mentoring, right? Mentoring upward. And everything Ayodeji has said, minus his formula, of course. I'm not copying his formula. Everything he has said about how important networking is was going to be my basis before I talk about mentoring. So I'll give you a real life example, and I'll use I know we have about 10 speakers today, right? But the four of us, not the four musketeers, right? But the four of us, just chatting, right, innocently, we could see connections. Let me use myself as a point man. I was chatting with Ayodeji, I could say he was the CEO of Red Africa. UBA was a place. So I've worked in different places. UBA holds a special place in my heart, and I'll tell you why. So in UBA, I know UBA and Red Africa, we do a lot. You see, I keep saying we, as if I'm still in UBA. So I found my missing half. Don't say, oh. I found my missing rib, right? It's not heart. In UBA, while I was working in UBA. So you can see there's already a connection, right? And we don't know what network we can build from there. I was discussing with Sinmi, the keynote speaker. Sinmi was giving examples of how he was reporting to the former CEO of NIBS, that was the DG of, acting DG of CBN, right? And that is a CEO that I hold dear to her. That's a CEO that, even when he was DG of CBN, our WhatsApp group, he would, I said DG, acting governor of CBN, our WhatsApp group, he would still be active. You understand? That's the connection. He worked this VGG, right? He was in VGG. Sinmi said he was in VGG for about 4 or 5 years. The current chief of staff, I don't know if she's still the chief of staff. Is she still the chief of staff? Ifeanyi is my guy. We were classmates in secondary school way back. Sinmi is a program manager at Microsoft. I told her, my very good friend that works at Microsoft, transitioned from Nigeria to the US, he just came back and we're kind of neighbors. He just came back with his wife, right? So that we can do Dirty December together. I see some soft connecting points. And how did we get to know this? Because we didn't just come here as speakers and kept idle. Let's focus on the goal, right? The way we say heaven is the goal. And we just come and do our job and leave. We connected, right? Naturally. Right? And there's a strong power in networking. I know my question is on mentoring. Sinmi spoke about how she had gotten jobs via referrals. I myself, I have never gotten, I've applied for jobs. I will not come here and lie to you, but I have never gotten hired. Right? I'm trying to put it well. I've never gotten hired from a job I applied for. I've worked in about maybe 7 places now, or 6, right? Everywhere I have worked, apart from my first job, NYSC, right? Everywhere I've worked, it was referrals. Even up to, he spoke about people under you. There was one of the sweetest jobs I did, right? It was the person that was reporting to me, and this is where I will now talk about mentoring. This is where I want to go into mentoring. It was the person that was reporting to me, and guess what? We bonded in a very special way, because there were so many things that should have not made us bond. He was, I think, 10 years older than me, right? He was my direct report, but he was older than me. For those that have managed people that are older than you, you should know how difficult that can be. But guess what? I made him feel that mutual respect was there. If you walk into the room and they don't say, okay, this is head of talent Nigeria, you will not know. Do you understand? You wouldn't know. And it now got to a point where, sadly, because of some performance issues, this guy had to be let go. If you are a leader, you know that's a very difficult conversation to have. But because of the way we handled that conversation, how I made it look like, oh God, this is not the end of the world, and thankfully he's doing super well. Guess what? That same person was my referral point for another great role. Can you see someone that was reporting to me in my mind? Yes, and he said I let go, that the company let go. Right? Yeah, but I had to break that news as his direct boss and as HR. Right? I had to break that news. So guess what? He was older than myself, and this is where the mentoring comes into it. Let's understand the dots. He was older than me, but this was someone that was really, really humble and wanted to learn. In fact, at some point, I'll be like, okay, do you want to drain me to zero? But I liked it, because sometimes, even while he's trying to learn from you, he's also critiquing, and you yourself, you're also trying to, okay, I hope what I'm giving back is still, because nothing is as bad as giving stale information. You give people stale information, they go with their chest proud and go and say something elsewhere that is stale, and you are the source of that information. So that was one thing I admired about him. He didn't allow that age be a barrier. So barrier is what I want to talk about here when it comes to mentoring. So in finding a mentor, you should look at, he said, follow who knowed. What is my end goal? For me, I strongly believe in mentoring, right? I have a couple of mentors that know me, and I have a couple of mentors that do not even know I exist. Mentoring is not I sit down with Ayodeji and we're having a pep talk, he's advising me, go like this, don't go like this, or I sit down with Sinmi and he's advising me. I could, Victory, right? Victory or Temitayo could be my mentor without them knowing. How? The world is now a very global village. What's our nice gala name again? Omo. Okay, Omo. Let me play safe with Omo. Omo was talking about how people come on LinkedIn, dropping inspirational, I don't like using that word inspirational, dropping thought-provoking comments, right, on LinkedIn. Why can I not just find, okay, I know Omo every week. Omo drops like 3 bombshells when it comes to IT project management. I've seen a couple of people here that I think we've had conversation, a couple of people that said they just started IT project management. Why can I not go there? I don't necessarily need to connect with Omo. I'm not saying don't collect Omo's phone number or she's here, milk the opportunity. But here, what I'm saying is, I don't necessarily need to know Omo personally. Her works can mentor me. And we all need mentoring. That is the real truth. If you are not lucky to have a mentor that you have sessions with, right, either within your office, because that's another thing I see us doing. Some people limit that mentoring scope to only their organization. I know people that have written to me outside of even Nigeria just because we are in the same space, and they're like, okay, I like what you do, this, that. Some of them will even go and monitor you to your Instagram or Facebook page and just look for one similarity. Maybe one day they saw that I said up my you. They will just use that to, I'm a Manchester United fan, by the way, right? They will just use that to enter you, right? Oh, you can see we are making alliances. Let's do it again. They didn't see it, right? So they just use that to enter you, and already you've gotten that soft spot, right? And then we start engaging. But guess what? Because I'm too busy, follow me, me that I have something to give, and you that you want to take, who should have the responsibility of ensuring engagements happen? You can tap from the mentor. Who should have that responsibility? It should be you, the mentee, because things we stand to gain is number one, knowledge, experience, what the person has passed through, the person's failures, the person's success story. So it is the list is actually endless. So my advice, my final note on this today is, if you do not have a mentor, either a physical mentor, a virtual mentor, a mentor that knows you, or a mentor that do not know you, you need to get one. And another easy way to also have a mentor is through books. You mentioned one. Somebody mentioned No Excuses, wasn't you? That book is boldly there on my shelf. The book you can't finish reading it, because every day you're reading it, you're seeing a principle that will resonate to you. Am I lying? There are a couple of principles, and they work like magic. You can see he mentioned the 3%. Was it 3% principle? The one that impacts your income. When you save, I think 3% of your income, it's a lot, right? So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pius. First of all, are you an Arsenal fan so that we can do the Nokutu together? No, you're not. Okay, don't worry. Let's keep it together. All right. So I think I'm just going to ask these 2 questions so that we can round up this amazing, impactful, fire, panel session. So this says, for Red Media, I am a recent graduate from Nigeria Law School looking to go into entertainment law. I'm clueless as to where to start from. Please, could you advise me?
So entertainment law is quite a niche market, but it's great because in marketing we'll call that blue ocean. There are not a lot of people playing in that space. So we don't do entertainment law. We do entertainment marketing, but we don't do entertainment law. But what I would advise is this: there's some guy, and the way I found him, because I always say this. He said mentoring. There's a way I have always built out my journey to success. It's simple. I read a book when I was 14. It's Tony Adams. I don't know if you guys know him. He wrote a book, Tony Robbins, Unlimited Power. It was actually the first one. Awakening Giants was the second book. The first book was Unlimited Power. Unlimited Power spoke a lot about modeling. Now, modeling is some form of mentoring, but without the person in the physical. So he says very simple, and it's a true law. If you do what Mr. Sinmi or Omot does, live their life, sleep the way they sleep, eat the way they eat, think the way they, not even think, drink the way they drink, talk to who they talk to, and write the kind of things they write, there's a high chance you end up with the kind of life they have. It's very simple. So when I'm looking for things and success stories, what I do is I find someone that I can tailor mine around and copy that. I'll give you another secret. I got my first job, my only ever employment. I left full-time employment after the first job. My first job post NYC, and there's a whole story there. I got my first job on LinkedIn. How? I was looking for a job. I was telling myself, why did I get a job? Everybody said, build your CV. You know what I did? I had this elder brother of one of my friends who currently owns a bank now. It's called something Capital, Ion Capital. It's not a bank, it's a financial service business. But it's really big. But at the time, he was vice president of a bank in the UK. And I went on his LinkedIn page, and I saw the way he wrote it, and it was so beautiful. And I was looking at my own, and I was looking like, what's this thing you have? It is boy. So you know what I did? I took everything on his LinkedIn page. To today, if you check his LinkedIn page on my LinkedIn page, the same copy. I took everything. All I did was, where he wrote Jibril Enakele, that's his name. Where I wrote Jibril Enakele, I switched it out. I put my name, Ayodeji Razaq. He says he is a this, he is a that. I am that, I'm that, I'm that. I'm not capping. That's all I did. I got 4 offers.
Wow.
They invited me for interviews. All I did. Again, he had more experience. But I put all of my own. So when they read it, it's a funny thing. People read that instantly saw me. And they saw him. And I'm like, amazing. I got my job from LinkedIn. I was in Abuja. They called me, said, we want you to come. 4 jobs. I came to Lagos. I had 4 interviews. I scheduled everything the same day. 4 interviews in one day. I got 2 offers.
Wow.
My very first job. And that was the last time I applied for a job. In fact, that was the last time I got paid employment. I did it for 2 years and I went to start my business. But that's a whole different story. For this entertainment lawyer person, it's the same experience I'm trying to teach you. The same way I'm trying to teach you. There's this lady. She's a DJ. Her name is DJ Caesar on IG. If you go into her page, if you scroll through her stories, there was someone who posted her. She reposted the content. It was a lawyer. It was a law firm. She signed to a law firm. They are practically the biggest entertainment law firm in Lagos right now. Find them. Find who owns them. Go to that person's LinkedIn. DM them and tell them you're a lawyer. You need them to follow you or mentor you and all of that. Again, pursue that lane. That's how I would start. And I like to give practical examples. I don't know how to tell you aspire stories. So I'm just telling you what I will do. So you ask the question, how do you get in the business? That's my first starting point. If you need more answers, we can walk through it together. All
right, thank you so much. We have had an amazing time. I know I have one more question, but this person, I am giving, speakers, please permit this person to walk up to you. I don't know who the person is, so you can walk up to any of them. I'm permitting you to please ask your question because time has gone and I would like to move on to the next fireside conversation. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for being on this panel session. It's been an amazing time. Please a round of applause for them.